This is Maarte. Not quite a podcast, more like voice memos you weren't supposed to hear. So, before we get into today's episode, I just need to tell y'all something. Listen, I lied to myself and I lied to you guys. When this started, I kind of like lost my way and I was like, yeah, it's gonna be so structured and I'm gonna have seasons, and every season we're gonna dive into this new subject and it's just gonna be all about that. So that way it's easy to navigate through the episodes, and if somebody wants, whatever. I was making it too hard for myself because the way that my ADHD is set up, no. I have too many thoughts in my brain. I have too many things going on in here. And it's just not going to work out that way. So I'm not sure if you've noticed, but I have gone in and I have changed. I've taken off the season and it's just episodes. We're just going to keep it conversations, just whatever I can't stop thinking about that I need to dissect and talk to you guys about and just like work through it. And yeah. So that's a little change that I've made. So, okay, cool. Thank you. Love you. Okay, bye. Why the fuck am I carrying somebody else's trauma? That is the question I keep coming back to. Not because I don't understand trauma. I do. I understand that it changes people. I understand that it shapes the way we trust, love, argue, attach, withdraw, the way we survive. It teaches the nervous system to react before the mind has time to catch up. It can make safety feel suspicious and conflict feel like danger. What I don't understand is why we are so quick to accept that one person's unresolved pain should become another person's responsibility. I recently read a quote and it said, "Emotional intelligence is the discipline of sitting with a feeling long enough to understand it before handing it to someone else." And I was like, whoa. Just, hell fucking yeah. That was my reaction to reading that. Like, fuck yeah, what else is there? What other way is there? Sometimes we become fluent in the language of our trauma, like I've said many times before, and mistake fluency for healing. And, the question in my brain that I keep on coming back to is, at what fucking point does your trauma stop being an explanation and start becoming your responsibility? Because pain does not disappear because we understand where it came from. It still has somewhere to go. If we don't learn how to carry it ourselves, we hand it to someone else sometimes. And the way we do that may be through anger, through silence, distance. It seems that the method changes, but the results do not. The person receiving your trauma does not experience your backstory. They experience your behavior. They do not feel the childhood wound that taught you to run. They feel you leaving. They don't feel the betrayal that taught you to distrust. They feel themselves being treated like they've already done something wrong. They don't feel the fear beneath your silence. They feel abandoned inside of it. Your trauma may be invisible to them, but the damage sure fucking ain't. And I understand how this happens. The human brain is built to protect us, not necessarily to make us kind, but survival is fast. Reflection, on the other hand, reflection is fucking slow. I'm in it right now. Someone who learned that love disappears may leave first. Someone who learned that vulnerability was dangerous may treat tenderness like a threat. Those responses may have protected them once, that doesn't mean they belong everywhere they go. It's how trauma travels, not because people wake up wanting to hurt someone, but because reflex is faster than reflection. The pain doesn't disappear, it fucking moves. It's like holding something burning in your hand and throwing it into somebody else's hand because you can't stand the heat, and now they're the one that is burned. And for a moment you may feel some relief, but that's not fucking healing, that's outsourcing emotional regulation. Sharing pain and discharging pain are not the same thing. Sharing says, this is what is happening inside me. I want you to understand it. Discharging says, something is happening inside me, and now I need you to feel it too. One creates connection, the other creates another wounded person. And none of this means we will never hurt anyone, because we will. We will misunderstand people. We will become defensive. We will speak from fear and disappoint people we love. The difference is what happens next. Do we become curious? Do we apologize? Do we repair? Or do we keep telling ourselves that understanding our pain is the same thing as taking responsibility for it? Your trauma deserves compassion. The people around you deserve protection from the parts of you that refuse to address it. Listen, I want to be clear about something. I'm not standing outside of this conversation pretending that I've never hurt people, because I have. I've spoken from fear. I have become defensive. I've misunderstood people plenty of time and reacted before I understood fully what I was even feeling. Being an empath does not make me incapable of causing harm, and it does not make me emotionally healthy by default. Empathy is not immunity from accountability. The difference is not that I have never caused pain. The difference is that I do not want to build an identity around explaining it away. If I hurt someone, I want to know. I want to understand why. I want to apologize. I want to repair it if I can. And I want to make sure I'm not repeating the same wound with the next person. To me, being an empath does not mean I never hurt anyone. It means I feel other people's pain deeply enough that when I realize I've added to it, I can't fucking ignore it. I have to look at myself. I have to ask hard questions. I have to own my part. Because I know what it feels like to carry pain that did not belong to me, and I fucking refuse to make someone else inherit that. And listen, I'm sorry for what happened to you. I am sorry. I am sorry for the version of you who was hurt before you had the words to understand it. If I could go back and find the younger version of you, I would hug you so tightly. I would hug you so tightly that you would know what it felt like. Like, you would have this overwhelming feeling of knowing exactly how it feels like to be protected and safe. But just because I can do those things for younger you, that doesn't mean that it gives me or gives you a pass for me to ignore adult you and the wounds that you are relaying to others. I can have compassion, I can have empathy, but I also can hold a boundary. Understanding someone's pain does not require volunteering to become the next destination. We spend so much time asking whether wounded people deserve understanding that we rarely ever ask whether the people loving them deserve protection from their unprocessed pain. Because they do. Love does not mean somebody should have to keep paying for the crimes they did not commit. There are people who know exactly what childhood trauma feels like and choose every day not to make it somebody else's inheritance. They're not perfect. They still have wounds, triggers, patterns to unlearn. A lot of us need therapy with medication, support, or years of deliberate work. But we understand what happened to us is not permission to repeat it. Trauma complicates responsibility. It does not eliminate it. Empathy is not the problem, but empathy without accountability is. Understanding why someone became harmful should help us interpret the harm. It should never require the next person to absorb it. And this is where my anger lives. Why the fuck am I carrying someone else's trauma? Why is one person refusing to face their pain, handing it to someone else, and walking away lighter while the recipient is left trying to understand what the fuck just happened? Why are the people with good intentions so often the ones cleaning up emotional landmines they did not create? Maybe they were scared. Maybe they never learned how to communicate. Maybe they were dealing the best way they could. All of that may be true, and they still caused harm. Understanding the mechanism does not erase the impact. Explanation is not absolution. There's this other phrase that people love to use, and it's everything happens for a reason. And maybe it does. Maybe it doesn't. What I do know is that people rush to make suffering meaningful because meaning is easier to tolerate than unfairness. Meaning gives us somewhere to place the pain. It can lead us to therapy, deepen our understanding, reveal wounds we didn't know were still shaping us, and perhaps even change the direction of our lives. Meaning, it can be really fucking beautiful, but meaning does not absolve the person who handed you the trauma. Remember that. The fact that something revealed you does not make the way it happened acceptable. The fact that you learned from it does not make the harm necessary. The fact that you became stronger does not turn the person who injured you into some divine messenger sent to improve your life. Sometimes a person hurts you, and then you do the extraordinary work to survive it. That extraordinary part, that shit belongs to you, by the way. Yes, this revealed me. Yes, it pushed me deeper into myself. Yes, it uncovered things that needed attention. And no, I'm not fucking thanking anyone for it, because my healing is mine. The therapy is mine. The reflection is mine. Rebuilding trust in myself is mine. Nobody gets to hand me trauma, watch me do the work of surviving it, and quietly accept credit because I eventually found meaning. My growth is not your redemption arc. Don't brush your goddamn shoulders off. You do not deserve props for refusing to heal, wounding somebody else, and then watching them become wiser. Their wisdom does not redeem your behavior. Their resilience does not make the damage less real. Their ability to find beauty in the wreckage does not mean you deserve credit for the view. Growth is not a fucking refund. And honestly, I'm fucking tired of digging for the silver lining in every bad thing. I know how to find it. I know how to pull meaning out of pain and build something useful from what tried to fucking break me. I know how to do all those things. I am fucking seasoned. I've been doing it all my life. But being able to do that does not mean I should always have to. Sometimes I don't fucking want the lesson. Sometimes I don't want the deeper understanding. Sometimes I don't want to hear how much stronger I'm going to become because of this. Sometimes all I want to say is, to you, this was fucking unfair, this shit fucking hurt me, and I didn't fucking deserve to carry that. I should not have had to become wiser because somebody else refused to become accountable. We celebrate resilience so quickly that we forget to ask why resilience even became necessary. We admire the person who rebuilt the house and barely question who set it the fuck on fire. Finding meaning can save the injured person. It should never become a hiding place for the person who caused the injury. Responsibility begins when you recognize that your pain is capable of becoming somebody else's wound. It begins in the pause before you run, before you punish, control, accuse, disappear, or shut down. It begins when you remember that the person in front of you is not the person who originally hurt you. It begins when you ask whether you're protecting yourself from an actual danger or defending yourself from a memory. It begins when you decide that what happened to you will not automatically become what you do to somebody else. Hurt people, until someone doesn't. Until someone says, this may explain me, but it will not control me. This may be what I learned, but it is not what I have to repeat. This may be how I survived, but I refuse to make somebody else survive me. Hurt people until it ends with you. And that doesn't mean carrying everything alone. We all deserve somewhere to place our pain. We deserve people who listen, relationships where we can admit, I'm afraid, I'm angry, I'm insecure, I'm overwhelmed, I'm fucking triggered. But there's a difference between asking someone to witness your pain and making them responsible for carrying it. And I know this sounds so fucking cheesy, and love can heal us. Love can help heal us. Love is not supposed to replace the work. Another person can reassure you, but they cannot permanently regulate every fear you refuse to confront. Another person can understand your triggers, but they should not have to surrender their own emotional safety to avoid activating yours. For God's sakes. Healing means knowing what belongs to you. It means taking ownership of your reactions, even when the feelings beneath them are fucking valid. It means apologizing without turning the apology into another explanation. It means repairing what you fucking damaged. It means becoming curious before becoming cruel. Because when we don't sit with our own pain, that shit fucking migrates. I mean, we've all fucking seen it, right? It travels from parent to child, from one relationship into the next, and eventually somebody who had nothing to do with creating it wakes up wondering how the hell it ended up in their own hands. And I don't think we can avoid hurting each other completely, but I do think we owe each other an honest attempt not to pass our pain along unchanged. We owe each other reflection, communication. We owe each other repair. The humility to admit that being hurt does not make us incapable of becoming harmful. And we owe ourselves the chance to become something other than the continuation of what happened to us. As Gustav snores. So yeah, hurt people, but that's not the end of the sentence, because hurt people until someone becomes responsible for the pain. Until someone sits with it. Until someone stops confusing explanation with permission. Until someone decides another person will not have to spend years healing from what they were too afraid to face. Until someone says, no, I know what this did to me. I know what this did to me. And because I know how much it hurts, I will not hand it to you. I will not hand it to you.